Hello and welcome, everyone. We're back with the Science is the New Religion script on the 13th of January, 2024. And believe it or not, this is actually the third intro we've done today of computer issues, computer-related issues. Our friend Michael there in Germany has put together a beautiful script for us on this new topic that Michael's been going into on our series. It's actually Michael's series on the Science is the New Religion script. And we have the verse here I'm going to read for you, Genesis 3:15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. And I think Michael will be with us here in just a moment.
Yeah, thank you, Brett. What I mean is we can't convince anyone. No one. So, it is just what you believe. We are just putting here out some facts for you. This is the study of Science is the New Religion when it comes down to geology. And this is the next session. So, by saying that we can't convince anybody, everybody is free to participate. Everybody is free to join the session. Also people who are not already in the Christian belief. So, let's get it on. It is just what you believe. Everything is a belief. But the problem is that the world sells it as facts. When you can't measure gravity, when there are some formulas and there is a force which is quite near, but the same force applies when it is millions of light years away. So it is just a belief. Everything is a belief. Heliocentricity is a belief. Geocentricity is a belief. No, the globe is a belief. What else? Everything is a belief. Everything is a belief. And all is relative. You see that there are no absolutes because everybody is entitled to have his own God or version of God. In the Catholic Encyclopedia, volume 9, page 696, it was so hilarious because that was content of JFK Q&A. They say that the Catholics, under obligation, they keep their secrets. Yeah, so they have secrets. Everybody has secrets, huh? Everybody has secrets. Yeah, and they can also tell a lie. Yeah? Also tell a vision.
Well, and it's easily justified too, because in the Bible, wasn't it Sarah had to lie to the king about her not being, Abraham's husband.
Mm-hmm.
So why did you lie to me, Abraham? So look, anyone can use equivocation. So there's a doctrine of equivocation. It's right in the Catholic Encyclopedia. You can look it up for yourself.
Mm. Yeah, so the truth they proclaim is under oath and is relative and not absolute. You have to really keep that mind in your long-term memory forever. So all is relative. It's just your belief. What do you believe in? Has God created everything, or it was just a force, a big bang, a certain hiccup of the universe? Yeah. So it just all is relative. It's just a belief. And these people here, these are the preachers of the scientific church, of the scientific belief. Yeah, there's special relativity, there's general relativity, or maybe there is no relativity at all. It's just a belief. Gravity is also a belief. Gravity has been coming from gravitas. How could it be? It must be Latin. It's considered as one of the four fundamental forces in physics. In the science church, gravity is the foundation of Isaac Newton's mechanical model of the universe, which is not the actual modern model of the universe anymore. So the truth they proclaim is relative and not absolute, because it's just only valid for a certain amount of time. And time is also relative, so everything is relative in that church. Scientists explains the orbits of the planets through the gravity of the sun. It's the sun system, heliocentricity, of course. Their orbit is ecliptic. Yeah, thanks to Johannes Kepler, who is a little bit affiliated with the Roman Catholic Church. The gravity of the moon is responsible for the lunar tides of the oceans, and this is a big no-no. But it's just what you believe, yeah? So I'm absolutely okay with any belief out there. If you think that they are just small Mexicans, yeah, just pulling on the moon a little bit further and just letting go for a little bit farther away, I'm totally fine with it. Yeah, I'm so totally fine with every belief. As long as you start to question everything. So I am more convenient and I feel more easy with people who have a certain belief than with people who don't care at all. Because they swallow everything from the television. Yeah? So I think that we have to question everything. The Catholic Church, Dominicans and Jesuits like Francesco Grimaldi and Giovanni Ricciolo and Galileo Galilei did research on gravity by measuring the speed of bodies in free fall and calculated the gravity of Earth by measuring the oscillations of a pendulum. When we know this is totally BS, and then comes the next one up, research on gravity by measuring the speed of bodies in free fall. That is not gravity, my ladies and gentlemen. No. That is not gravity. Gravity means the attraction of two objects, and the larger and more heavier object attracts the lighter one and smaller one. But that has nothing to do with fallen. Oh, fallen angels maybe. Yeah, the earth attracts fallen angels. Oh, what? So what I mean is, and I'm now getting really serious, is there is no proof of gravity. Oh, yeah, we talked about it, I know. But maybe it makes sense, before we go to the earth for the geology, to be a little bit more logic here on the things that they present us. Yeah, the gravity means there is a certain effect of heavier bodies on smaller and lighter bodies. That means that you are bound on the earth because gravitas, so gravity, means the weight, that attracts you to the ground. So otherwise you would fly. Even without wings or what. So this is hilarious, but I'm just making it a bit more funny because I'm really peep of all the stuff. Can you imagine? You can't imagine. You see, all the people they are just putting out in front of you are Catholic trained. Yeah, even Galileo Galilei. Where is that? Oh, there she is. Sister Maria Celeste. Celeste, you know, Cielo Drive, huh? The Manson family, Celestial, was an Italian nun. She was the daughter of the scientist Galileo Galilei. See, all have something to do with the Roman Catholic Church. And you thought that Galileo, he was against the Roman Catholic Church. Sure, I do not. You know what controlled opposition is? Yeah. That happened also in 1600 or 17th century. Back to the script. As long as it works. According to Albert Einstein's theory of relativity of gravity, gravity is not a force but a curvature of space-time which causes masses to move along geodesic lines in mathematics described by Riemann manifold. Yeah, it is just what you believe. Oh, time can be bent, so time is also not an absolute. So I thought once again, and for all, my theory must be correct that Einstein has been used to get rid of all absolutes. There is no absolute space, there is no absolute time, there is nothing absolute. And of course, there can't be an absolute wisdom or an absolute divine being. So there can't be a God. Yeah, so Einstein has made a media icon, so a genius, and I want to be so clever as Einstein. If you think that Einstein was such a clever guy. Maybe you think that he was a clever guy, but it's really interesting that many people have debunked his theories, but they can't be heard because it is just all censored outside. You think that the media is free, it's not controlled? Yeah, think again, look at the moon landing. Yeah, did anybody question it? Russians, China, India, Germany, Mexico, Spain? Nobody. They're all controlled. Gravitational redshifts is seen by some scientists as evidence of relativity. Yeah, you see, you are inside a frame, and inside the frame there are other experts who are just, of course, nodding their head and just confirming all your religion, your religious aspects. There are many people busy with gravitation. Of course, it's a business model also, because it serves the heliocentric universe. Some of the guys are just Nathan Crowley and other people. Nathan Crowley. Some claim that he was a descendant of MI6 agent Aleister Crowley. Some claim that Aleister Crowley was just a mountaineer. Somebody claims that he was just an author. Somebody claims he was an occultist. Somebody claimed that he was a Satanist. What he was? Yes, he was everything. Everything in one person. Aleister Crowley, but must be a special agent because he was on a mission. Sure. Yeah, Nathan Crowley, nominated 5 times for the award for Best Production Designs for Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, etc. What a strange thing. So once again, it is just a belief. It is not science, it is science so-called in the Bible.
Yeah, it's 1 Timothy 6:20. 1 Timothy.
Thank you.
6:20, yes. Oh, what? Hold on.
Please read it.
Oh, yes. Okay, sure. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust. Avoid profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called.
Yes, but this is science falsely so called. But when it is science falsely so called, it must be a belief. People believe in this. People believe in experts, professed people, doctors, universities, and media, experts, genius, whomso else. So this is from a website. It is called VaticanObservatory.org.
Oh, the mission of the Jesuits, yeah?
Yeah, you see, faith-inspiring science. So it has something to do with faith, huh? You have to have faith because they are experts, and only them they have the expert measurements.
The only question is what type of faith, right, Michael? A Jesuitical faith, I think, would be the answer.
Yeah, mission here, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
The Vatican Observatory is an institution established by the Holy See for astronomical research and public outreach to advance the scientific understanding of our universe. And I thought that was a church. I thought the Vatican would be a church. Oh, it is a church and state combined. What did Jesus Christ say? Give the Caesar what renders to Caesar?
Yeah, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. When render unto God what is God's, yes.
So they are mixing the holy with the profane.
Absolutely.
Did Jesus Christ order somebody to erect a state? In Rome.
No. The beast.
Yeah.
We're talking about the beast here. The Roman beast.
I can enlarge it a bit.
Yeah. Right. Our impact. This is under the mission statement still?
Yeah.
For 400 years, the Vatican. Oh, really? Just 400 years? The Vatican has been advancing scientific inquiry and promoting awareness of how our universe works. Oh, really? Our universe. Okay, so they're admitting it's theirs. Okay, here are a few examples of our contribution throughout the centuries.
Can you read what's been printed here?
Yeah. I'll zoom in. Hold on a sec. I got to zoom in. Pope Paul VI. Yes. Watching the moon landing.
So you know
look
that
at this. He's got a nice. Looks like a Sennheiser microphone there, Michael. Yeah. It's
point.
white though. Oh, whited sepulchres. Yes. Like
My
it says
point.
in Matthew 23.
Okay, it's yours. The floor is yours.
No, it's okay. Your point, Mike.
My point is, you see that you know that they are fooling you when you are talking about the moon landing.
Absolutely.
So at this point already, you know it's all fake science, what the Vatican is putting out in front of you.
Absolutely, yeah. It's religio studiorum, Michael.
Yeah, and then you look at the gesture of, you know that Pope Paul VI is the one with the snake audience hall.
Oh, the gesture he's making right there.
The gesture
That's a Masonic gesture, isn't it?
I'm recommended on a quite familiar song. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Yeah, right.
He looks
got you and me, sister.
He looks like he has a big globus cruciger between his hands or his palms, hasn't he? It means that I bless it, and I am the emperor of the entire world. I'm the Caesar. Yeah, so that's the usual appearance of the popes. Yeah,
with his white Sennheiser 421 microphone.
That is not the point.
No, I just
You
had to
missed the
throw that in.
point.
I had to throw that in.
Yeah.
Everything's in white, you see.
This answer gets you 0 points. But if it's your belief that the world has been run by Sennheiser, it is just your religion.
Just a joke. Oh, I just love the color coordination that they have to put up for their their representation of science here.
Yeah, you see that he's watching the moon landing with aluminium foil.
Tinfoil hats. Sorry, it's
my.
the lander is the tinfoil hat.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous, but.
Gold foil. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, gold. That makes sense for the church.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yes,
so it is a belief, so it must be gold. Mm-hmm. It's a religious mission.
Gold,
it's a mission, yeah. So don't forget it's
clean.
A mission.
So clean.
Yeah. It's just pristine.
Dazzling. Oh, yes.
Maybe it was a lunar landing module for the Virgin Mary because it's so pristine and was just a high level of hygiene. Oh, come on. So let's skip it here and just go to the next subject. We are still in gravity universe. Yeah, so controlled by the Vatican. Yeah, so you have to believe that a falling object has something to do with the attraction of gravity. It has nothing to do with that the object is just heavier than the air and therefore it drops. But there are so many things that you could come up with. So this is just gravity visualized. This is a video. I think it has several millions of hits. And people are totally convinced, yeah, that's the best way to put it. Yeah, that's the best example how gravity works. Yeah, you're all totally deluded. I'm sorry, but it's not my belief, it's your belief. And for your belief, you get good grades. And for my belief, I get 0 grades. Yeah, what a nonsense. Yeah, Newton and his apple. If you believe this, you believe all the fairy tales. Gravity has nothing to do with the speed of falling objects. It has something to do with the attraction of two similar objects. For example, resting on the earth. And so what you need to have is just time. And you know that time is also no absolute. But if it would be linear time, yeah, so not bent by gravitation, this fairy tales here, then you only have to wait millions for years. How hard could it be? Just to sit there and wait for millions of years. Why are all of you people out there so impatient? I don't get it. You only have to wait millions of years, and maybe then in millions of years you can prove them wrong. He said, no, that stone has not moved. Gravity, my. Isaac Newton, He says, it's the sun's force is above all force, for it vanquishes every subtle thing and penetrates every solid thing. Yeah, that's Isaac Newton quote. Yeah, and so where is the proof? That is the graviton. The graviton, in theories of quantum gravity, the graviton is the hypothetical, that is the key word here is hypothetical quantum of gravity, an elementary particle that mediates the force of gravitational interaction. There are problems, there are hypotheses, there is a string theory believed by some, Yeah, so it is still a religion. Come on, it is a religion. It has something to do with the theory, it has something to do with the hypothetical, it has something to do with the belief. So it is a theory. I'm not going into this for the second and third time.
I remember something about the word Om.
Or what?
I've heard that word is the most spoken word in the world because of Buddhism, right? Or
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Om.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Om.
Yeah. And Om is also a veneration of the destroyer god Shiva in Buddhism, if I've been remembered correctly. So it's all negative. You see, what does the Bible say about repetitive prayers? Yeah, we should avoid
Not
them.
to
huh?
do them. Not
There-
to do them. That's
There is
what
no
it says.
rosary in the Bible.
Don't do it. Don't make repetitious prayers.
Huh? So it's all relative. It's just your viewpoint. It is just your viewpoint. There's nothing else. So from the viewpoint of clock 2, then clock 1 is just further away and moving further and further away. But which object is actually moving? It is just your viewpoint. Yeah, from the viewpoint of clock number 1, object number 2 is moving away because object number 1, the clock number 1, would seem to be fixed because the other object is just moving. So moving is just the direction. Movement is just the change of direction, but it is not absolute. It's just relative. Yeah, it depends from which side you are viewing this. So how can there be a vacuum when the density of air is just decreasing? In hectopascal, in 8 kilometers or 5 miles high, it is just a third of the pressure, and in 100 kilometers high, there's very, very few pressure. So it's very hard to understand that concept. This is just a belief. It's just a belief. What you believe in shape, in size, in distance, all is a belief. And you have to trust your experts because they got the measurements, they got their expertise, they got the professed people. This is what sudden changes in pressure would result in. So you have to believe in all their models of spacesuits, and you have to believe all their models of space flight and the ISS, the space station. You have to believe that they are real. By the way, in the background, I don't see any stars. Do you? Just going back to the script now. The vacuum means nothing. Yeah? And nothing is what it is. It is nothing. And nothing can create nothing. No, sorry. Nothing can't create anything. So therefore also no force and no gravity. Yeah? But in the concept of the world, secular, gravity is responsible for anything, and the vacuum can also transmit gravity. That's interesting when vacuum is nothing. So nothing can transmit something. That is really interesting. And also the nothing means the vacuum can bend a space due to gravity. You have to believe it. Yeah, density and pressure is just decreasing, but somewhere out there, nobody knows, in a magical universe, from a certain height, you only have to believe that there is a magical portion, and that is called a vacuum, and there is nothing else. There is no pressure and nothing. Interesting. It has nothing to do with the God, huh? God is everywhere in everything because he created anything in the first place. But if you don't believe it and you think you're just a random being out of something, just randomly created by accident, nobody knows why you are here, what your purpose is, nobody knows where you are going except down. So then you're worth nothing.
Except down. That sounds so funny. I'm sorry, I had to laugh. It sounds so funny.
Yeah, you see, they want to get rid of all the absolutes, yeah, because you see that every motion requires a certain system that you can detect which or who is moving. Yeah, so is the blue car moving? Is the black car moving? The white car moving? Yeah, you have to have a certain frame, yeah, inertial frame of reference. But I don't want to be too technical here, especially when it is not my native language. In classical physics and special relativity, an inertial frame of reference, also called the inertial space or Galilean reference frame, be very careful when everything has been made much more complex, is a frame of reference not undergoing any acceleration. So that is physics here. That is just fundamental physics. Yeah, and you have to believe them, because would they lie to you?
Look at that handshake.
Look at that handshake. On the left side, it's Mr. Albert Einstein.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Would I lie to you? You see? You've seen that face. Strange, I've seen that face before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. You have to be very careful to get all these details. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that our pupils, or your children, if you got children who have to go to the school in Germany, it's mandatory to go to school. Home teachers are not allowed. Maybe if you got a high-ranking politician, then it's certain other aspects are getting into this. Protection, for example. If you are a decent citizen, then you have to send your children to the school. And they tell you, and it's just, it's hilarious, it's really funny in itself, they tell you that nothing is not nothing. So the vacuum, which means nothing, is not a vacuum. Yeah, that sounds strange, they have to admit. I'm just translating it here. Because, nothing means the absence of matter in a space. Yeah, so there is nothing. But they claim, no, don't get it wrong, nothing is not nothing. It's a play with words, actually. So that has another meaning. It's like immunity. Yeah, it's another meaning since 3 years or 4 years than it had before. Formerly, it would get you immune. Now it's just, no. It's just, you have a just mildly reaction to diseases. Yeah, so it changes.
That's reminding me of something else, Michael. Remember when we had Ground Zero before?
Yeah, that's spot on.
September
example.
11th, 2001. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Etymology. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Originally with reference to atomic blasts, in reference to September 11th terrorist attack on New York.
2 days later. 2 days later, September 13th. Yeah, it's no coincidence, but a great example. Thanks for stepping in.
Yep, you're welcome.
Yeah, so vacuum, nothing means the absence of matter in a room. So when you got a defined room and nothing is there, then it is zero, nil, nada, nothing. But physics claim you, or quantum physics actually, in quantum physics everything is possible and totally illogic, but they don't care because that's it what gets you good grades. So you have to believe a lie, literally. Because they tell you, no, nothing is not nothing. Yeah, so that is a lie, because that's the definition of nothing, right? So that is a lie. So you have to memorize lies in order to get good grades. And now you see where all this development is going. The development is not going with the older people like us. The development and the New World Order is going with the pupils. In the school systems, education, so-called, science, so-called. That's their belief, because they are getting good grades and they got professed people in front of them. So, I have studied that matter for 20 years on the university. And they believe. Because they get good grades. Why should they ask? Why should they bother? Why should they care? Because the only thing that they want to have is good grades. Finally, with 25, finally I got my own Lamborghini. Finally, I got my own house. That's the only thing that 99% of the people really care for. So they tell you nothing is not nothing and vacuum does not mean vacuum, because everything is possible in quantum gravity. in quantum physics. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, there is a Casimir effect from Hendrik Casimir. He says, between two plates in a vacuum, there is a certain force. Did I understand that correctly? But because I'm not a native English speaker, I'm not now relying to a German explanation here. They are contradicting themselves. Because if in a vacuum there is something, then it's not vacuum anymore. So come on, either space is a vacuum or it isn't. And if there is something, stars, for example, but you see that in the NASA, in your American scientific NASA, in your American Army NASA, there are no stars. Yeah, so the Casimir effect. That is responsible in the vacuum. Yeah, so there can be forces and currents and energies in the vacuum out of a sudden. Yeah, which then would not be a vacuum. But who cares? Because you see that the truth we tell under oath is relative and not absolute. I remember myself. But in quantum mechanics, there is a certainty that there is energy in that nothing. Yeah, so energy in the space. My. Because the creation of that energy, that is hilarious now, that is the permanent development of antiparticles in vacuum. That means 0-point energy or vacuum energy. Nobody tells you that if there is something in vacuum, it is not a vacuum anymore, but they don't care because they have no absolutes. Yeah? They can contradict themselves 2 times, and if you got 2 times negative, then it's positive charge again. So who cares? They make up something out of nothing. Literally here. We are not talking about the Big Bang, we are talking about the vacuum here. They are making something out of nothing because vacuum, for sake, means nothing. And now you got energy out of the blue. Bing! That would be great. We would not have to pay our power stations here in Germany. I would have currents and power for free. That would be great. But it's only possible in their computer model because that is just only existing in their mind. This is a belief. Oh no, they can't prove it. Of course, only with their experts. Yeah, and these antimatter particles, of course, they are eliminating themselves. Yeah, positive, negative is quite easy, Brad. Can you imagine? Yeah, so they're coming up with things that they are coming up with fairy tales here. Yeah, this is 0-point energy with the Casimir effect. It's a physical force acting in the macroscopic boundaries of a confined space, which arises from the quantum fluctuations of a field. Somebody understood this? No? Okay. Then you're not alone. It is named after the Dutch physicist Hendrik Casimir, who predicted the effect for electromagnetic systems. My. Come on, it's so funny that I have to show it. Show me the Casimir effect in the vacuum with 2 plates. All of a sudden they appearing, bang! 2 plates in a vacuum. How could that be? In quantum physics, everything is possible. Only in quantum field theory. You see that in my theory, there are fishes who can speak 27 different languages simultaneously. That is my theory. I think that maybe there's just a small possibility that somewhere down in India there is a certain fish who can speak 27 languages simultaneously. And if you don't believe it, I don't care, because you see, that is quantum field theory. Everything is possible. Even the impossible is possible. That is a joke. They can come up with everything. And they have, of course, their own experts inside their frame to prove their theory. But it's not accessible to somebody with common sense. But this is what differentiates regular John Doe and academics, graduates coming from the university, because they think, and that's not overdoing it, they think they know more than other people. They do not know that they are just following a certain belief because they are science religion or they are science church, but they take that for granted. They take that all for granted. Yeah? Under an optic dark field microscope demonstrating Brownian motion, Casimir effect and colorful scattering of surface plasmons. Yeah, that looks like a distorting analog TV signal to me, but what do I know? What do I know? Yeah, you can come up with everything. Here on the live screen, I can tell you, Brett, it's just sparkling. But they can come up with everything. That could be anything. Could be a part of a video game. Who knows? I don't follow any science out there because I know that when the Vatican is claiming that they are just taking care of science for 400 years, come on, and they're just watching the moon landings, I don't have to explain anything. So when dark matter comes into play, then it creates dark energy. And well, you see, you have to read the Bible only to understand, Brett, that there are dark times coming.
Yeah. Well, and also that 1/3 of the angels fell from heaven, right? So
Yeah.
There's your dark energy.
There's your dark energy, yeah.
It's a given in the Bible.
Yeah, that's your dark energy, yeah? And so
But
you
when
can measure.
Try to put a measurement on it. Yeah, go ahead. Michael.
Yeah, and then they put 2 plates inside a vacuum and they just apply a force or they measure something between them. Yeah, could also be fraction or what else. Yeah, something they measure here in between. And that is then the experimental proof of that theory. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Yeah. The problem with the entire theory of gravity, I can tell you, in my humble opinion, is simply the objectification of space, when vacuum means nothing. Nothing cannot transmit anything. It's like the Big Bang. It's the same concept. Yeah, there is nothing, and nothing creates anything. In this case here, dark matter or vacuum energy, or dark energy, vacuum energy. Yeah, you see that either way. Yeah, vacuum means emptiness of space. And look, please, at the date, Brett.
1540s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar. Emptiness of space, from Latin vacuum and empty space. Yeah. A space emptified of air is from 1650. A vacuum cleaner is also very hilarious, because it's just a false depiction. Yeah, your vacuum cleaner does not clean the vacuum. He just gets rid of dirt. So vacuum cleaner, quite frankly, must be a totally wrong declaration of that machine. Otherwise, you could go to space, with a bunch of what's the most famous manufacturer of vacuum cleaners now? Dyson, huh? Is it Dyson?
Hoover or something.
Yeah, Dyson, Hoover or so, and then you clean the vacuum.
Yeah. Well, but Michael, just to clarify, vacuum can mean a reduction of the atmosphere, so to speak. You have your standard, pressure, right? So vacuum is just simply a reduction of the pressure, if I understand it correctly.
No, it means emptiness of space. That means an absence of pressure. So there is nothing.
Yeah, but there's an in-between is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but then it's not a vacuum anymore. Because the definition of vacuum, it means emptiness, so there is nothing left. Even if there would be a 100 millionth part of it, that would not be a vacuum. So a vacuum is defined of being nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's the point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I get you.
All these explanations are false in themselves. Yeah. So a vacuum cleaner is the best example. So it does not clean the vacuum, but we are used.
A vacuum tube isn't really a vacuum because again, it's just a reduction of. Isn't it just a reduction of the pressure? It's not an absence of pressure, is it?
Vacuum cleaner. It's a device that controls electric current flow in high vacuum between electrodes to which an electric potential difference has been applied.
High vacuum, not absolute vacuum.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
so they're reducing the pressure. They're not extracting the pressure. So it's absolute zero.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
That's the differentiation here. So a vacuum cleaner is essentially just a reduction of pressure to draw one.
Yeah, but he does not. He does
draw
not
air from point A to point B.
Yeah, he does not reduce density or pressure. He gets only rid of dirt. Yeah, but you see that vacuum is a space devoid of matter, so there is nothing. Yeah, and now they are coming up with currents, powers, electrical fields, magnetism, or what else? Yeah, this is it's really something. It's really something. You see, you can elaborate on that forever and ever. But
you're going to have a little dichotomy with Brett because physics was my favorite subject in high school.
Oh, it was okay.
Oh yeah, I love physics.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I could talk about this stuff all day long with you, Michael.
Yeah, you got the advantage
we're
of
electronics buffs, aren't we?
Yeah. But you got the advantage of knowing all these American or English words, and I have to think.
Well, what's really interesting is the involvement of secret societies and all this stuff too, because look, the moon landing was all about masonry, wasn't it? I mean. All these Masons.
Yeah, but on the outside, you see, they are just the Catholic Church behind, of course. Because
that's right. Yeah. That's right.
It's like the foundation of your own country.
Well,
which is not your country
too, because Jesuits will be on both sides of the matter, and that's how they work things. They don't ever. You have to understand what the purpose of a Jesuit is to begin with, don't you? To understand that they are working together to cause division and conflict.
Yeah, but you see that you just add another hypothesis to another theory, and you got a certain expert within the frame who just proves that, so to speak, and then they go on further and further. You see, from the Big Bang, then to quantum physics, to gravitational waves, to space-time bending, to dimensional.
Oh yes, there's some serious subtlety involved here. Yeah,
and it goes on and on and on, and you see that people and the pupils especially, they take all the things that have been made or, so to speak, discovered before them as granted. It's like in the textbooks of biology. They take that for granted. They don't question the evolution theory anymore. It is just take it for granted because that evolution is out there for...
That's true. I mean, this is ratio studiorum, isn't it?
For 100 and more years. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, once again, it depends on your belief, but I believe, my personal belief at least, it is that the Bible has been pushed away more and more and more in all the modern households nowadays when mother and father have to work to get along. And that's the plan, so that these children have been indoctrinated since kindergarten and then indoctrinated for quite some plus minus 20 years or so before they're going to work. And so they're indoctrinated learning by learning, religio learning, ratio to religionem, of course.
That's right.
You don't have to question yourself where the development is going. Get them while they're young.
Yes.
Get them while they're young.
They got us pretty good. I mean...
Yeah, it's no wonder. It's no wonder. You see that these videos, they have millions of hits. Then they generate millions of hits. They claim that the universe is expanding more and more and faster, and you see, you can create the next fear that the universe will explode, that there will dark matter, that there will meteorites. You see, you can fool and you can control the people by fear. Yeah, you can't prove it. You see that. Do you have a telescope for 25,000 grand? Yeah, you see that they can tell you, oh, there is an asteroid coming to the Earth. Oh, it's a collision course. Oh, maybe it takes only about 10 years. We only have... Who said that we have only 10 years to go? Lately, it was Elon Musk or somebody, huh? And we have only 10 years. Wow, then it's climate change. And if climate change is not done, then...
Yeah, it's a load of hooey, isn't it?
Yeah, it just... dark matter. Dark matter. Of course, dark matter. Yeah, we're talking about dark matter, but it's just spiritually. And that's what the people do not understand. You see that they don't have an absolute anymore because they want the government and educational service, they want to get rid of the Bible. In the Bible, in Joshua 10, it is just clearly stated in verse 13 that we are here on a geocentric system.
Well, right, because the Creator has a dominion over all things. And that's something that goes far beyond what we've been taught, Michael. We haven't been taught a creator that created all things in school. No. Unless you're talking about the Pope.
So what I mean, it is just a progression of things, a development which is going on since, let's say, 1540, plus minus.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Counter-Reformation. Yeah.
Council of
So
Trent.
almost 500 years of brainwashing children.
Yeah, you're
That's-
reminding me of that quote from Luther
Yeah.
that we so often speak of.
Yes. Yeah, so they are just not only forging the Bible. Yeah, speaking of globe in Isaiah 40:22, when it's just a circle here in Hebrews Strong's Concordance 23:29, it's just a circle. But what do I know? You see, that is very interesting that you really know that it's a Jesuitical Bible, and the Jesuits, they are responsible for the education system.
Sure.
So in Isaiah chapter 40, you see that the earth must be gigantic in size. Why? Because they're using a parable here. I would like you to read these two verses.
Sure. Isaiah chapter 40, verses 21 and 22. Have ye not known? Have ye not heard? Hath it been told you from the beginning? Have ye not understood from the foundations of the earth? It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in.
It is not only the circle, which is quite different to the three-dimensional or multi-dimensional globe. For me, it is just the reference of this verse here is that I see that there is a Jesuitical modification of the Bible, which I do not like. Second thing is that I see in this verse that there is much more to look at, that we are just as grasshoppers, so that we are just tiny in comparison to the creation of the earth. And also that we are protected, because it's been stated here in verse 22 that stretches out the heavens as a curtain and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. Yeah, so that reminds me always of Psalms 91. In the shadow of the Almighty. I think that we on earth here, we are in such a sublime environment, let's put it this way, environment, the earth. It's so beautiful and it's so various at the same time that I have a hard time imagining the fact that it just happened by chance. Yeah, when you see the vegetation, when you see all these animals, when you see the seasons, oh my. Yeah, but 500 years of Jesuitical training. No. 500 years of Jesuitical training. Yeah, so that is Annie Lennox from Eurythmics, beginning of the 80s, telling you that sweet dreams are made of this, so meaning to the moon landing. Who am I to disagree? Because it's just the majority of people who want to believe in it.
It's sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree?
Oh, molto bene.
Oh.
Gracias, amigo, or so, yeah.
Yeah, I never did like eurythmics much, but yeah.
Yeah,
that's
me
right.
too. But you see that this is just a universal picture they want to tell us. You see that it's interesting, huh? When you see universal pictures, can only mean
Catholic pictures.
yeah. But what does that universal picture sign here reminds you of?
Saturn?
Yeah, yeah,
Saturn.
sure. Saturn is the seventh planet of officially, and it's just a depiction of Satan.
Yeah.
It is just a depiction of Satan.
Oh, yeah.
So it's so easy, yeah. So you see that if you think that everything is just been made here randomly, yeah. So who steers all the processes? Yeah. What's the intelligence behind it? The physics. Where does your breath come from? Oh, it comes automatically. You do this without any conscience. Oh, it must be your subconscious, Daniel, that you just breathe while you sleep. Lucky that you are. Because think of that if you would forget to breathe while you sleep. My.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they will come up with any hilarious explanation. They have an explanation for
circadian
everything. An explanation for everything.
Well, Michael, they have to. You have to have an explanation for everything because that's how the system has to move forward.
Yeah, sure. We are getting to nearer and nearer and nearer to the end. And we will be accused of, oh, they don't want to sustain this earth. I'm sorry, I don't think that man is able to have these huge
Unsustainable.
I don't think that mankind is able to understand all the processes going on the earth, and I think that's just one thing which gets some people nearer to play God. Yeah, that they change the weather, the conditions, the rain, the harvest, and much more processes going on here. And I think that we know where we are going to, and the majority of people, they like to stay in that system, and that would be also a synonym that they will accuse us of ridiculing the problems out there, although the problems out there have been created by them in the first place, and therefore there are only two seeds, the righteous seed and the unrighteous seeds. So it comes all down to Genesis 3:15, and then I want to close the session here. You are free and entitled to have your own opinion, but let me tell you that you have to question everything. And even if you question my opinion about it, that's absolutely fine, because I like people to question everything, so that you try to question everything, especially from the media out there. Try to question everything. And I like to hand it over to my beloved brother Brett.
Thanks, Michael. Yes, we are questioning everything. Everything to do with this construct of, it's not a very easy topic, actually, Michael. It's a very difficult one, actually. In my humble opinion, taking apart the heliocentric model and exposing it for what it is, because it's all about, this false science. And it's many different aspects to it. Yeah, it's a real pickle of a situation, so to speak, we're in right now. And we'll continue next time, God willing. And I'm assuming we'll see you again very shortly. And we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.